Okay guys, it's finally time. Microcenter is coming to Phoenix, Arizona. We've talked about this already, but we are opening our doors November 7th, and that's coming up really, really soon. So to commemorate the new Microcenter in Phoenix, Arizona, because this will be our 30th store, we're going pretty big on this store opening. First and foremost, we're going to have a lot of you guys show up, and we're really, really looking forward to meeting you. But second of all, we're going to have a couple of fun events planned. We're going to have some influencers come on by. Some of our partners and vendors are going to be coming out, and we're going to be doing some giveaways, some free swag, a couple of other good things, like what I have here on the table. It's another day, and it's another build here in the studio at Microcenter. And today's build is going to be a giveaway item for the new Phoenix Microcenter. And I am so excited because all the parts that you see here, this is going to make for a really, really good looking gaming PC. Especially this GPU over here, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. Stay tuned for more information about how to win this PC. You will have to show up at the Phoenix Microcenter location to enter. So stay tuned, we'll have more info on that soon. At the core of our build is going to be our AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3D CPU. And I've paired this off with a Gigabyte X870E Aorus Elite X3D Ice. Everything we have here is going to match up really nice, especially because we went all in on Corsair. Our case, our cooler, our power supply, fans, all Corsair. Now for memory, I have 32 gigabytes of DDR5. This is the Corsair Dominator. I really like the way this looks. It's got like a big kind of 5 head on it with the heatsink. It's gonna be extra tall, but it's gonna look really, really nice with this combination. 2 terabyte NVMe. This is a Western Digital Black SN850X, so that's gonna be really good, nice and spacious for all of your games and your operating system. This is the PowerColor Reva, one of those. Anyway, this is the new GPU from PowerColor. This is an AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT, 16 gigabytes of VRAM. This is gonna be a really, really, really good gaming GPU. Stylistically, this is gonna look really nice in this build. And there's a lot of goodies in here that we'll talk about in just a minute. Now, I have a Corsair 5000D Airflow. I really like this case a lot. I really like the design that goes into all of the Corsair products that we have here. Before we dive into the build, let's open this box up. Let's see what's inside, because this is a really interesting GPU. This comes with so many extra goodies that I'm actually really excited about. So you open this guy up. Hello. So I guess this is their Reva design. She's kind of like, I don't know, cat lady, I suppose. She's got cat ears, or robot cat ears, but it comes with a plethora of, we've got stickers. Look at this, we have little pins, all of these little like cards over here. These are kind of cool. They're translucent. And this is the back plate that goes on, which I think this is going to look really, really nice in our build. Oh, there's a mouse pad. Yes. There's a little statue too. I think I could fit this inside the case. GPU is actually pretty sick. Look at that. So I guess you can go for this look, or you can go for this look. So I actually like that it gives you options. Use the back plate because I think that's going to match our build a lot better, but the designs, everything on this, I mean, this is going to match our 5000D really, really well. That's cool. I actually really like this a lot. This is actually going to match up pretty well. Definitely going to put that in the case. We have our 9800X3D, so 8 cores, 16 threads, Zen 5 architecture, and that expanded L3 cache. So this is going to be perfect for gaming. This paired off with an RX 9070 XT. I mean, you're really looking at a great combination for gaming. It's going to handle anything you can throw at it for sure. 1440p, no problem. Up to 4K, no problem. Really depends on the settings. But again, it's going to work really, really well. I really like the look of this motherboard. This Aorus X870E Elite Ice. This looks nice. When it comes to a white motherboard, I mean, this is definitely one of the better looking ones. Like, this looks absolutely phenomenal. And there's a couple of other things in this build that it's all going to match perfectly. I'm actually really excited for how this is going to come out. Now, SN850X, this is a Gen 4 SSD. This slot does support Gen 5 SSDs, and you will get full speeds with a Gen 5 SSD as well as Gen 5 speeds on this PCIe X16 slot up top here, but we don't have to worry about that. It's a Gen 4. No issues with bifurcation there. Now, I really like the look of this RAM. This looks really nice, and don't forget to peel off the plastic from the heat sinks. So it's got big old heat sinks, really nice LED built in on the top, so that's gonna look really, really nice. And you wanna make sure you go for your A2, B2 slots. Nice little diagram right over here, so in case kind of get lost while you're building, you know which ones to prioritize when you're using 2 sticks of memory. Now, they do make the dummy sticks that you can use for this, so you can fill in the other 2 slots and still get the RGB. I mean, it definitely looks nicer when you have all 4 together, but for now, these 2, they're gonna look really, really nice. These are Corsair 5000D Airflow. So a couple of things we're gonna have to do with this case. I wanna take out those 2 fans because I wanna replace it with the Corsair fans that I have right over here, the RX 120 RGB. Got 2 sets of those, so I'm thinking AIO on the top, and then I can have intakes on the front, 1 on the back for exhaust. Everything pops off super easy to clean too. So this does come with a little fan controller here. It's kind of handy for fan speed if you want to use it if you're not using Corsair fans. But since I have the IQ fans and all the hubs and everything there, they're all just going to plug in together into that. So I don't need this fan controller, but it's nice that you have that option available if you're going to go with a different fan type, like a different fan brand. But I figured for this one, you know, we're giving this away. Someone's going to win this in Phoenix, so we want to make sure that this is a really nice, cohesive looking build. Did you know that microcenter was founded in 1979? That was our first store ever here in Columbus, Ohio. Since then, we've expanded over the years, and we are now at our 30th store with the Phoenix, Arizona location. So more to come, by the way. Stay tuned. The new stores that we've built, you know, we call them the new format stores. That's sort of the new design that we've established for all of our newer stores. They look really nice. When you go in, everything's there. The way we have everything laid out for you to shop, it just looks really, really nice. It's nice to see everything that you need for building a PC, everything that you need for accessories. It's all right there, and we've got a lot of good stuff. Now, over the years, there's been requests for microcenters everywhere. You guys have asked us for all kinds of locations. I just saw a comment this morning. They were asking for a location in Beaverton, Oregon. I think, yeah, Beaverton, Oregon. I've never been to Beaverton before, but maybe there's a big computer demand over there. You know, we are expanding, so stay tuned. I mean, the best way to find out about new news about new microcenter locations, really just subscribe to this channel. You'll hear about it from us first. You can also check out microcenter.com. You can sign up for our emails. You can sign up over on MC News. That's our microcenter news page where you can get in-depth articles and you can get all of those alerts before anyone else. And speaking of getting things before anyone else, did you know that if you sign up in time for our VIP days, you will get VIP access to the Phoenix store? That means 2 days before the grand opening, you can get access to the store and get access to deals as well as a free gift. You have to go to microcenter.com. You have to sign up for our VIP days in order to get the free gift. One question that we get all the time, can I show up for the early access / VIP days? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can show up. We're not going to turn you away. Grand opening is going to have a whole bunch of fun stuff as well. We're going to have, like I said, some of our vendors and partners are going to show up. They're going to have some goodies for you guys. So there's definitely a lot of fun activities planned for that day. So stay tuned for more announcements about that. I will be there. I'm going to be doing a PC build. I know we're going to have a couple of other influencers. And if you follow us or if you follow other influencers, you probably already know who's going to be there. So make sure you stop on by if you want to say hello. And all in all, it's going to be a really, really good time. So we're all really looking forward to seeing you guys in Phoenix, Arizona. And for everyone else that is watching from all over the country, all over the world, just hold tight, stay tuned. There will be more microcenters near you, but only in the US at this time. Sorry. Oh, you know what? I forgot to empty out all the stuff underneath. Let me grab that. I got so excited talking about the new store, I forgot to take the box of screws out. I like the way they have this built into the caddy here. It holds pretty snug. By the way, you can fit 2 3.5-inch HDDs in this guy, and I actually really like this caddy. This is actually a pretty nice caddy. It's the ones that you could just snap into place, so it's screwless, so it makes life a little bit easier for mounting. I will say, having removed the rear fan, it's gonna be a little bit easier to get this in. This case is pretty roomy though. This is pretty easy to work in, so motherboard's there. I'm gonna get the screws in. There is one thing that I wanna call out that comes with this case that I really, really like, because this is a specific issue that I've run into. This is a right angle adapter for the USB 3.0 header. With cases like this, where the cables run behind There's usually this little flat piece. I know it has like an official name. It's kind of escaping me right now, but this little piece here kind of covers the grommets and the holes where the cables are running through. So you kind of have a really tight run to come over. It looks a lot neater, but it makes your cable run a little bit tricky when you're building. I have, and I'll admit this, I have bent the pins on a USB 3.0 header trying to get the cable sideways, because as you can see, the USB 3.0 header is pointed this way. So if I try to get it, and if I get it wrong, or if I get it at the weird, like wrong angle, I'm gonna bend those pins. Now, fortunately, I was able to fix it. I took a pair of ceramic tweezers and pulled the motherboard out and sort of just adjusted it, and I was able to take the cable, sort of form fit it, make sure they're all in the right place, and I was able to bend it back into place, but you might not always be so lucky. So it's kind of nice that I could just take this, plug it in like so, and now when I plug in my USB 3.0, it's gonna be here. So it's gonna be pointed up. So it's gonna be a little bit easier to plug in. Or I can plug the cable into this right angle adapter, then plug it in. So it's gonna make my life a lot easier. Maybe it won't look as pretty as it would if it was just running straight over. I'm gonna try to see if I can do it that way. But I will say, I like that it comes with this adapter, because that is a real issue that I've run into building. And if you're less experienced when it comes to building, odds are you're probably gonna bend those pins too. And it's a pain losing those front USB ports. Like it really is a big pain, so you don't wanna do that. Cool, so our motherboard is all set. Got the screws in there. While the case is roomy, before I get the rest of the fans in, before I get the AIO in, I like to run the power cables now. So I have my motherboard power, I have my EPS connectors for the CPU power up there on the top left. I'm gonna get that going. One thing I really do want to call out though, this Corsair power supply, this RM850E, first of all, really nice looking white power supply, right? But also really nice looking cables. When you get a white power supply, odds are you're getting that because it's going to be an all white build. And when it doesn't come with white cables, that is such a pain in the butt. So it's actually really, really, really nice that this comes with the white cables. No cable combs. I think I'll 3D print some for this, but no cable combs with this guy. But either way, can't complain. It matches the theme of the build pretty nice. And another thing I want to call out, when it comes to doing these white themed builds, you'll find very quickly that a lot of different parts are very slight variations of the white color. One will be more cream, one will be more like cool white. So it'll have little hues of like blue or yellow, but you can see across the board, the Dominator looks a little bit pure white. This looks a little bit more creamy. This looks a little cool white. You can actually see some of the different white tones going on here. So that's one thing that sort of stands out. I think it's a non-issue, to be honest, but it's one of those things I want to call out where there is no unified kind of colorway for white builds. It'd be kind of cool if one of the manufacturers out there sort of like took that note to heart and maybe figured out a way to unify all the components as much as possible to be one colorway. All right, cable comb on the motherboard power. So that's important. I'm glad we have that. So the way I'm thinking of doing this, run this maybe here, get the nice logo on the front, and then this kind of like loops around like that. I think that's gonna look pretty good. So right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be strategic about the way I'm gonna use the IQ link for all of these Corsair fans. So I'm sort of just planning out the way I wanna route this. I'm actually getting my 3 Corsair fans hooked up over here, and it's actually really easy to link these up. They come with these little grommets that connect them together. I'm attaching that. I have my IQ link cable already plugged in to this guy here, and I'm trying to plan out the way everything is going to loop through one another. And I'm thinking I can loop the radiator fans to these fans, have that go to the IQ Link connector. The pump itself is going to have an IQ Link cable, which I'm going to run to my single fan that I'm going to have as an exhaust in the back, and then run that out to the other connector on the IQ Link. So in theory, I should be able to run everything off of the one hub. Because the issue that I'm running into right now, IQ Link requires a PCIe connector to run off of, and I only have one spare on this power supply. I'm using the 12 volt 2x6 connector here. There's a 12 volt 2x6 that goes to 2 PCIe connectors, which is all I need for my RX 9070 XT. That leaves me with one extra PCIe that I can use to power this because I'm using the other two for the CPU. And then I'm gonna run out. So I wanna make sure I loop everything correctly before I start getting this too crowded with stuff, and then I have to like shove my hand in there and deal with all the little connectors. I just realized I put the long cable on this one, but I can actually use a short run going from the rad to this guy, and that's how they can link through. There we go. Now I think I have a good plan. So I can have this fan on the short cable through the rad. These three fans here will all connect. Short cable here, these three fans, and then I'll have a cable running out from the bottom here to my IQ link. Then I'll have a second cable, which will go directly from the pump to the IQ link. Just making sure there's a direct connection. I don't want anything lost in the loop over here, but all of the fans should interconnect, no problem. So just putting a little bit of forethought before I start screwing things in, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I've got to like undo this one thing so I can undo these 20 other things, because that happens pretty often when you're building a PC. If you don't take a minute to really look and plan out what you're doing, you're gonna be redoing a lot of work over and over. And I've done this enough to know that, you know, there's better ways. One thing I want to call out, I've talked about this before, just getting a little overhead shot, the attention to detail. Even the fan screws, the heads here, painted white. So that means it's going to match everything pretty nicely. So again, it makes a more well thought out, nice looking PC. Now I have a nice loop. Radiator's installed, everything's all set. Now I'm just going to get my AIO pump, pre-installed thermal paste. Always love to see it. Now this one's pretty easy. I just take out the little brackets here, replace that with the AM5 brackets. I'm going to multitask, removing the pre-installed cooling brackets that come on the AM5 socket. So that's just going to pop right out. Easy enough. So I'm going to do a little cross pattern. I like to give it just a couple of twists just to get contact on the threads there. Alternating corners so we can get equal pressure across the IHS of the CPU. There we go. All right, and I already have my cables pre-run to plug into this guy. That once you start getting these fans in place, specifically with the IQ link because they daisy chain to one another, it starts getting very cramped in these corners. Usually if you get just regular fans, they'll have the cables, you know, already built in, it'll just be running out. And so, you know, you just install the fan, you chase the cable and put it where you need to go. But because you need to plug in the cables, the IQ Link cables, and you need to daisy chain all of these, you need to be a little bit more strategic about the way you install everything. That's why I got the fans together, got the fans in, sort of started to route my cables in place, connected both cables to this. So then this is connected to here. This is connected to here. I have one cable running out the back, and all of that is going to go to our IQ Link hub, which I already pre-rigged. Going to go on one side, pump going to go on the other side. We should have no issues. And I shouldn't run into any hurdles either with the power situation, because like I said, these IQ Link hubs, well, it takes a 6-pin PCIe, and I only have one spare. So I made it work with everything that I had at hand. All I have to do really is get the IQ Link in place, plug in some of the cables to the motherboard. I have a USB. I have my little fan header over here. Power, which I'll get into the power supply once I get that installed, but hey, we're almost done. Okay, so here on the backside, little cable management to do, but nothing too crazy. Stuck the IQ Link hub here, so now I can just take the one cable that I ran from the pump. I can just plug right in. And I'll get our secondary cable. I can get our secondary cable, run that through here. I'm gonna tidy some of this up in just a little bit. USB is plugged in and set, so I have one USB coming from the pump, one USB coming from the head, from the little fan controller here, have my power. There are some extra cables here for this fan controller. There's a power connector that goes to a SATA power, and there's a fan header that I don't need because I'm not using this fan controller. Really, I just have to clean up some of these cables. So I'll get some of my zip ties and all right. So made a couple of modifications, did some cable management, got this guy all closed up on the back. Now you may have noticed I changed the fan orientation. I bought 2 3-packs of the RX 120 RGB fans. So I figured, well, I got all these fans and I'm giving this PC away. Might as well put all of them in there. So I have them here, a lot of intake. exhaust through here. I'm gonna keep this space open since we have the tubes running there anyway, because that's gonna get pushed up once we get the GPU in place. So now the other reason why I changed the fan orientation, I couldn't get this to fit because the radiator was in the way. Remember when I was talking about being strategic? Well, even when I was trying my hardest to be strategic, I still overlooked a detail. I could have gotten this in place if I took the rad out and then got this in place, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna change the fan layout. So now the fan's running from here to here, through here, and then to the IQ-Link hub. So now that all of that's done, all that's really left is our GPU. So let's get her installed. Got her all set up right over here, and I am going to keep the magnetic backplate on. I think it looks really good with the backplate. I think it's gonna match this build really nicely. So I'm gonna take out the PCIe covers, and then we're good to go. What do we got? 2 slots on this guy? Easy peasy. One small hiccup with this combination. Magnetic plate does not fit with that heatsink there. There's just not enough space. Oof, I really like this magnetic plate. I really do. Already looks pretty good as is. And frankly, having this little black piece stand out, I'm actually kind of happy with it. So all in all, it's not that big of a loss. I would really love to see this on there. I mean, I could drop this down to the next PCIe slot. It's really not going to affect performance that much, but it's going to look a little funky. And frankly, I think this came out pretty good. Why don't we give her a boot and see how she looks? Another thing I really like, see this power cable? Matches the other white cables in this build. Looks pretty sick. Got her plugged in. Ooh, all right. I really like the RGB on this guy. This looks nice. So I'm gonna get this configured with Windows. We're gonna get this all set up. We're gonna get this all lit up and everything going, but look at all of that RGB. Oh, you love to see it. Now remember, the Phoenix Micro Center is opening on November 7th. So we'll see you there. I'm gonna have this PC there with me, so stay tuned. I'm thinking I'm gonna give this away on the first VIP day, so that's gonna be November 5th. Then we're gonna do another PC giveaway on the 7th. I'll be there, I'll be building a PC, and we're gonna give that one away. So stay tuned. A lot of info to come on that. Stop by your local Micro Center. And if you don't have a Micro Center near you, odds are we're probably gonna open up near you anyway. And make sure you comment hashtag, I want a Micro Center near me. Looks like a mess right now, but I've got a plan, and it's coming together.